Aquarius, bring your ass here. I'm Aura Celeste. Let's get into it. These are the words of wise messages. I'm not showing these cards by area in our form, but they give a snapshot of what entities and energies are working around you, whether you know it or not. I'm going to clear, supporting messages come from the Angelarium Oracle cards by Eli and Peter, and the Santa Muerte Oracle by Fabio. Fabian would be like a English type of translation. There it is. The spade, too many. Sheesh. All right, and the Angelarium. I love the backs of these cards. They're so beautiful. Where is what angel is assisting you at this time? And you have 3. Okay, for the entity. This entity has an above average knowledge of science and plants and medicine. It's worth remembering when we buy a bottle of aspirin derived from the willow from the grocery store that there was a time when something as simple as a headache medication that we can so easily take for granted would have been seen as an esoteric or nearly dark creation. Focus on science, especially medicine and dietary concerns. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's not really a negative influence. It's saying that something that you have access to typically way back when could have been seen as not so great. But right now, people need that type of knowledge that you have when it comes to medicine and science. So don't be afraid to support that and sport that. That's what's up. That's what's up. Something Muerte Tarot, Oracle, actually. I haven't busted out the tarot deck for y'all yet. But 9 is Laylock. In Aztec mythology, Laylock is considered the god of rain and fertility, benevolent and indulgent towards the prayers and sacrifices that are offered to him. He was still worshipped with fear because although he watered fields and gave prolificacy with one hand, he could cause floods and droughts and summon lightning with the other. Pay attention and weigh the forces you wish to put into play, because they are like water. It can irrigate, but in excess, it can cause floods, and in absence, it can cause drought. So with your information, when you're sharing or just in conversation with others, understand that there is a such thing as giving too much and also withholding and not giving enough. And to pour so much information into someone or so much conversation and then detach from it and retract, it can cause a person's senses, their mental stimulation, their emotional stimulation, their spiritual stimulation. They can feel a loss, even if that is not the intended reaction that you're seeking. So be careful, especially with the nature of detachment that you're so natural with, that you aren't doing that. I mean, people are socially distancing right now, but you have a natural ability to do so. as a drop of a hat. It's something that you can do, but just understand that every day speaking to someone or having a conversation on the phone at a specific time, linking up with somebody, and then you just go ghost and you cut that off, that can cause a distortion of what's happening with them. And they'll you can be flooding them with too much, or you can be um, they can be dying of thirst just for that stimulation that you were so readily giving in the beginning. Okay. Yeah. You have Remiel, the angel of visions. Pretty appropriate. Right leg. Nitza. This is endurance. Right leg. And Zachariel, angel of memory. Cool, right? That's so fucking cool. That's so cool. I love these cards. So, Remiel, if I can find the English one. There's no numbers on these cards. Excuse me. Angel of Visions. That's more towards the back, I think. Okay. The shepherd of good graces, a shining light in the distance, beckoning us forward into the future. The green pastures beyond the next hill are hard to see. Remiel assures us that things will get better. It whispers something is coming, and it is beautiful. Keep pushing toward the horizon, toward the setting sun. As the light fades, you feel as if someone is watching you. Far in the distance, you see a lone figure walking, a dove on its shoulder. You stop for a moment to marvel at the vision. When you move again, it is gone. You hear a flutter of feathers as the dove lands gracefully on your shoulder. Signs are a crane, a rising sun, and a white dove. That is so freaking cool. Be peace. Err on the side of caution, but be peace. That dove, and just seeing that in the analogy, it being on someone else's shoulder, and you're looking and you can see it. That was a premonition of peace coming actually to you, not of it coming to the other person. So information that you may be relaying to someone else actually pertains to you, but you're being a messenger. You're broadcasting out something very particular, and you believe it's meant for that person or that group of people that you're talking to, and it's actually for you. So once you have this realization, that's what makes you back up, because that person is no longer needed. They were an outlet for the message and the vision to come through you to amend something that you have personally going on that you need peace with. Netza, right leg. The seventh emanation, the life force that resists. Stalwart in the face of adversity, the great leader carries us forth through our darkest times. Netza is the strength to endure, regardless of suffering. When we feel that we have reached our limits and yet new strength comes to emerge, we find the embrace of Netza. With any increase in force, he too grows stronger. Each challenge is met with equal vigor. The green orb is both the weight of the great boulder upon the shoulders and the strength needed to carry it. I had not seen that as a boulder. Oh, look at that. Can you see that? Sheesh. Supporting the pillar of mercy, Netza is the closest we get to the base of the tree before merging back into the middle. His station is one of constant stress and strain, supporting the weight of the tree by pressing back upward against it, found in victory, exercise, and leadership. I dig it. I dig it. That's the reason why people come to you too, because you seem to have been through insurmountable. Why is that word coming up? Like the circumstances have just been the things that you have been able to grow through and endure through are things that people seek your advice and your counsel on. So when you have words for them, they kind of rely on that wisdom because you know what the fuck you're talking about. And then when it's not there, you have these pupils with blank pupils like, well, where are you? What happened to the information? It's just dried up. It's like, okay, well, I'm done with this. I'm done teaching this person. They've learned enough from me. I'm going to go about my business for whatever reason, right? Zachariah, the angel of memory. Eternally lost, Zachariah carelessly winds and unwinds the threads of thought. Memory has no worries or concerns. You are safe to wrap yourself in the bands of time gone by as well. It is warm and safe within the fog of Zachariah. All you knew greets you, welcomes you, longs for you. The power of remembrance is balanced by the power of forgetfulness. Pouring memory into the cup of forgetfulness makes room for new memories. Zachariah is the angel of all memory, even memory lost. If you take something with you, you must also leave something behind, a knot, a loom, a maze. Where the thought and the mind, and your video is a little long, everybody else, so where the mind was once like a labyrinth, right? It was easy to unravel. I read this book. It was about a kid, and he was just kind of like a stray runaway, and he had this extraordinary ability to he was very fast, but also to undo knots. And there was this big knot in this, I think a pizza parlor or something, and they were saying, you know, whoever can undo the knot can eat here unlimited, you know, it'd be free to them. So he's so good, he just started to undo the knot. He could see, and I find myself doing this, I think inspired by that book, really, to find the source and be able to undo knots when cords are tangled and other things are just, even when it comes to thought and the streams of thought, you can source to see where they're overlapping and they're crisscrossed and, you know, interwoven with other proportions of the mind and other memories that you may have. This reminds you of that, and they kind of tangle together, and one thing can influence an emotion of another. So when it comes to the angel of visions, not being able to see clearly or understand what the purpose of giving this information to others and how powerful you are with that information can come from a time when you were denied that power or weren't given the credit for it. So the angel of memory will have two memories clashing, one of good, one of not so good, or a specific moment you're experiencing that kind of mirrors a memory that is still playing within your program, okay? And the outcome of that memory is something that can sabotage and hinder your progress within this moment of making a memory. So once you, and this is when I explain, people who truly forgive will be given the power to forget. You don't forget what you learned from the lesson that made you transcend it. You forget how the pain felt. So you're no longer trapped in that past memory that you can't get over, that blockage that prevents you from bringing in new information and experiencing full new memories. Okay, so this is a regression. This is past life work as well as Akashic work. This lifetime childhood trauma shit. This is stuff that through giving information to other people, you have intrinsically started to heal the very parts of you that are clinging to memory, that are too heavy to hold, too tangled, too convoluted, the labyrinth that keeps you stuck. Be peace. You have this dove energy coming through with this angel of visions to assist you. So you know this memory, this bit of information, this encounter is a peaceful one versus other things that you have felt and that have transpired. So the endurance that you are actually, I just saw this green orb. I was looking here at everything that this angel is holding. It's here. It's here in the core. It's right in the pit of you. But you carry it like it's luggage. Like it's a backpack. So when you unload this shit, this knowledge, this experience, through all this endurance, through all this, the decision to unravel it, it's best to find someone who can take on massive amounts of information, who understands your language of unfolding and unraveling. Because if you do it on somebody who's unsuspecting and who does not have the capacity to hold it, they will just be as fucking confused as you when you were dealing with that big knot of confusing thoughts and memory. Deal with be in the company of somebody who can help you stretch and see where they're interwoven and start to actually assist you in straightening these things out. So you will forget the tangledness of it and the restrictive feeling of it, and now you'll be able to see where it's free flowing. You ever notice, well, girls back in my neighborhood when I was growing up used to have string, and they would use their hands to create all these little different webbing with the string. And it was fun. It was something that you know, they would do it with the string and play and do all these tricks and shit. And I used to get tangled in it like a fucking Japanese finger trap. That's kind of the thing. When you bring in that sense of peace, or you understand that the peace you see when you watch a video where someone's singing and it brings a peace on you, or when you hear a prophetic word and it brings a peace on you, that is peace that you have and you have access to. It is not outside of you, it's in you. That's something that you can always tap into and rely on. That too is a memory, and you know what it feels like to be at that point of peace. So that's something you can draw in to help you push out and unload, give yourself enough space to start to unravel some of this stuff that doesn't make mental sense, because emotionally it's tied in your mental, in the core of you. So this is sacral and solar plexus we're talking about, but it's green, so it too is related to this heart chakra space. So you have, I mean, it's with someone that you trust, or you deem trustworthy, that you have never had to doubt, that you have to ask first their permission if you can do this exercise with them, because you're not, trust me, you're not a burden when you do this. You're actually going to someone that you know can and will do this with you. It's an exchange. What you're doing with them, and you assume that they're only just assisting you, you're actually doing something for them as well. So don't ever consider yourself a burden when you pull them to this point and you ask that permission. Can I speak candidly with you for a second? Or I have some things on my chest and I need to get it off. That is fine. What isn't fine is when it veers and it goes to other memories that are tainted, that you just can't let go of. If you're not willing to unravel, to actually get to the source of those things, they can flood the person that you're speaking to, or dry up a conversation very quickly. So you have to be aware of how you're using these memories. And it could be that the person reminds you of someone that you know, or gives you a familiar feeling of an instance that you've had in the past, but do not mistake them presently for what has transpired. They are a different person, and they're ushering in this angel energy and assistance to magnify what you're so naturally gifted with, so that you can be of service to others within your environment, within your field, within your life moving forward. We need it right now. So, damn, Aquarius, y'all took me there. Y'all always take me there. I'm not complaining. Y'all just do that. That's that. Y'all, Leo, Moon, you're the opposite of me. So I get it. I get it. I feel it. It's cool. It's cool. All right. I'll be back later on. Thank you for letting me do that. I enjoyed that.